This is Joseph Victorious, cybersecurity professional, with part 5 of the Idaho Murders. Who did it and why? In this case, we'll be talking about Bryan and his just grave mistake and leaving behind his sword scabbard, as I know it. They call it sheath, but I call it scabbard. And a few possible circumstantial theories that I have regarding this. Now, some information came to light yesterday when I was browsing through the comments. Something that previously I did not know. It looks like the doors to the rooms may have had key entry security systems. This was on a video that was shown on the news, which somehow was not talked about frequently online, so I was surprised to see it, because then that would mean that he would have to have the access codes to get inside the rooms, and in order to do so would have been very difficult without some personal reconnaissance, which leads me to speculate that it is possible, according to the new affidavit released today, that since he had been stalking these individuals since June, July, that he may have gone inside the home, unless he had an accomplice, which I'll get to in a few minutes. And so it makes you wonder now. These codes aren't very difficult to crack or hack. So he did have quite a bit of time, several months, in order to figure it out. Still, it doesn't necessarily mean he ever had access to the home, even though he may try to claim that. As I said in my previous video, as a defense strategy. Which I think now turns to definitely stalking. And I think now it's possible he may try to go a different angle, saying that yes, he was stalking them, but he had an accomplice. He may try to point the finger at one of the roommates based on what came out in the article, talking about one of the surviving roommates, seeing him walk right past her. If you see somebody who's an intruder walk right past you, number one, why didn't he kill her? She was a witness. That's very suspicious. And number two, which is already previously suspicious, but it's even more so, that he would walk right by her and not kill her. And leave a witness. And also, it's very suspicious that somehow between 4 a.m. and 11 a.m., approximately 6 hours, the cops were not called. And then he goes back to the scene of the crime around 9 o'clock in the morning, probably to see if he can get back in there and get his scabbard, which he idiotically left at the crime scene. That's just a bonehead move. Who does that, I guess he just wasn't paying attention to the finer details. He actually may have been able to get away with this if he wouldn't have left the scabbard. How do you leave a scabbard? It's quite embarrassing. But what I'm saying is that and by the way, with all due respect to the victims, I'm not saying that I was urging him to get away with it. I'm just saying that it's pretty embarrassing. Okay. Now, going back to what I was previously trying to make a point of was is that yeah, again, it's very suspicious that between that 6 hours went by, before the police came. That's gonna be something that's gonna be used in his defense, as far as if he says he had an accomplice, or people who we might not even know. Now it's just it's very strange, and we'll see the same guy that was reported stalking. Was Kaylee Concavas? We'll see the same guy. May have been collaborating with the suspected stalker that has been mentioned. And there's also a possible ex-roommate and friend's theory as far as stalking her or collaborating either with or without Bryan. So, but yeah, at this point, it's going to be very difficult for Bryan to get acquitted. He may be able to get a reduced sentence if he can convince the jury that he had an accomplice or multiple accomplices, and or for insufficient evidence. And when I say that, highly unlikely, however, he may just try to play some kind of stalker angle. I was thinking about this the other day. He may just say, "Yeah, I'm guilty of stalking them. I was obsessed, but I didn't kill him." Now it's going to be difficult to say that now that the scabbard has been found. But again, they may try to claim some other angle, or him knowing some kind of an acquaintance, or playing the acquaintance card, or again, collaborator, accomplice. Now, and there's another, of course, angle he could take regarding that, which is, again, since he has been stalking them all this time, he can say he was at a party and he just happens to carry around a knife scabbard. What kind of DNA did they find? Did they find blood? Because I there was no mention of the blood in any of the DNA, as far as blood being part of DNA in the affidavit today. So why wasn't there? Like I was saying, it could be the perfect crime if he wouldn't have left the scabbard. And of course, if he wouldn't have used his own vehicle, also changing the license plates didn't help him any. That wasn't going to help either way. It's not like they can't track him either way. The DMV shows the record of license plates changing. But then again, the DMV has in the past, so still, getting back to the evidence and the circumstances left behind. Several months. My goodness. I hope now that security systems. I mean, I guarantee you, I'm a very vigilant person, and I'm always very aware of my surroundings. One of the things my uncle, Sir Pete's legendary man, told me, he said that he's never seen anybody be so aware of their surroundings. He noticed this during a game of basketball that we were playing. But it's true. I'm very aware. I have almost extrasensory perception in many ways. I won't go into the paranormal, but it is true. However, a lot of people need to make some security adjustments if you don't notice that somebody's been stalking you for like several months, and actually being outside of your home, then you're not fully aware of your neighbors and the neighborhood, and you don't have the proper security systems. It could have saved their lives. It could have, Also, if they would have gone to the police earlier, asking them to investigate the stalking further, it may have been possible to get cell phone records beforehand, catching Bryan before the act of the murder in some way. I've heard there were several mistakes done by the Idaho police. Personally, I don't like the spokesperson for them. I don't know if he's the chief of whoever. This bald guy that's been on TV. He's got a little bit of an overconfident smirk. I don't like him. I just feel like he's not competent. Call it what you will. I got my reasons, but I think they got very lucky. Talking about the Idaho police, very, very lucky that he left a scabbard behind, because again, it's just but just I think Bryan, like I said, made several critical mistakes. Turning on his cell phone, using his real cell phone. I would have used a disposable cell phone. Would have been very easy to acquire, activate, and then use as GPS communication device. And then you could have disposed of that somewhere between the crime scene and Washington State. He had an opportunity, to plan this better. Using his own vehicle, what was he thinking? And I said it before, he's not as smart as everybody was saying. It doesn't take intelligence to get a college degree per se. We have had this discussion with various people. Anybody can get a college degree. It's just a matter of having a better than average memory. If you're gonna pursue it farther, as far as like master's or PhD, and also, the perseverance to actually finish it. Because take it from me, let me just say I did 5 research papers in one semester alone. When it came to my cybersecurity specialty, I actually took the Homeland Security cybersecurity class, which goes over the essentials, and so that required a lot of writing, because it had to do with the foundations of the manuals recommended by the Homeland Security for cybersecurity. So he should have if he was so intelligent, taking better precautions. He was extremely careless. But that leads me to another angle here. Like I said, as far as the accomplice, where was the scabbard found? Was it found in the rooms? Was it found just laying around? Because you could always claim that he was set up in some way. It'll be difficult to prove, considering his cell phone records have him at the scene and then coming back to the scene later, which is a really stupid maneuver on his part. If he was going to do that, he should have just gone in full and basically come in with a gun again or something and gotten the scabbard and gotten the hell out of there. But he didn't do it. I'm just saying, going back there was just very dumb of him. But again, it's suspicious that 6 hours went by. But I'll get back to that in a second. So, um, the location of the scabbard may come into play as far as his defense, but it's very interesting. Very interesting. Now, I will say that let's see here. I think once again there was a failure by the Moscow police not to have caught this guy earlier, considering the amount of times that he was stalking them. I wonder if this was more digital than actually in person, even though I believe the article said he had been coming to the area several times. So it's just quite interesting, really. So going back to what I was previously hypothesizing in my previous video. Yes, when it comes to perhaps having a alibi, a collaborator, accomplice, or several. Very suspicious that Kaylee's roommates, the roommates, waited 6 hours. If that roommate, there were reports of the roommate fainted. If she had fainted, okay, and then one of them overslept, I mean, if you see a guy walking around, this is all very bizarre. If you see a guy walking around, again, an intruder at 4 in the morning, how do you not immediately, if you survive it, how do you not immediately call the cops and wake up anybody who's, still alive in the house? And, how do you not, like, scream? Like, mainly if you're a woman, and wake up the surviving roommate who could have called the cops then. 6 hours, even if she fainted, the fact, if she was the one that saw her roommates dead deceased at the scene, you faint for 6 hours? How are the cops not there earlier? This whole thing is bizarre. It's 6 hours. I can't say it enough. 6 hours. It's bizarre. And then 4 or 5 hours like went by between Bryan came back to the crime scene, and again no cops and no calling the cops. Still, for like, what the heck is happening here? I mean,